take a second here. So you are landing in your chair. You've got your feet planted on the floor. Do whatever movements feel right, and then just feel yourself settle. The sit bones feel connected to the seat of the hard chair you're in. Crown of your head feels gently lifted towards the ceiling. Your shoulders feel like they can lift up to your ears, and squeeze them in, and then let them drop down your back body. Bring one of your hands just to the base of your rib cage, sort of rib cage, the diaphragm's underneath you, maybe even the stomach. And then as you breathe in, feel your body expand into your palm every inhale. So you're purposely allowing the belly to fill and press outward as your breath comes into the body. Imagine at the bottom of the rib cage, the diaphragm that pulls down into the belly. And as it pulls down, suctions air into the lungs. As it pulls down, it pushes all the organs of your abdomen out of the way. That's really what makes your belly expand. The more that your body can feel that breath come in, it means the more breath, the more air you are pulling into your lungs. So for every long inhale that you're creating in your body, let the exhale be long and slow as well. Them with the power of breath. Feel the weight of your body now just really settle into the sit bones, into the hips. This is as if you just released your weight a little bit more into the seat of the chair. Notice if you're bringing the air in through your nose or your mouth. And if it feels possible for you today, see if you can breathe in and out through your nose. Sweet. As your hands drop back down to your thighs, sweep the fingers right to the ends of your knees. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press your chin into your chest and your spine back behind you. Inhale to lift really tall through the spine, and exhale to arch your back. Nice tall breath in. Exhale to arch your back. Feel your breath just working magic on the stiffness and tightness of your spine. As if the warmth of your movement and breath could loosen up all the tightness that sits back there. Let yourself go back and forth here. Just using the breath to help you work out all the kinks, all the tightness in that back body. And then just come to a nice tall spine. Lift your shoulders to your ears again and roll them down your back. Your hands can come to your heart center. We'll just twist right and left. Taking a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist one direction. Inhale back to center and twist the other direction. And breathe in and go the other way. Yeah. Just feel the twist opening up your spine, uncoiling it in a new way. You're allowing yourself to experience different sensations than we were when we were going forward and back. We're finding the twist, the rotation. Deep breath in brings you to center. Nice exhale helps you twist. Just feel how good it feels to let breath and movement coincide, sync together. Nice, and bring yourself back to center. Let your fingers come down to the ends of your knees. Good. Shoulder roll backwards. Good. Our elbows are going to open up beside us. It doesn't matter to me how high your elbows lift. The higher they lift, the harder this work will be. And then take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. So as you inhale, the shoulder blades can slide away from your spine. And as you exhale, open up. Actually, I don't know if I care which way is the inhale and which way is the exhale. Just do what feels natural in your body. Maybe this is breathing in. Yeah, maybe this is breathing out. It doesn't matter. Bring your awareness to your back body. Feel the space between the shoulder blades. If this is bringing any kind of tension into your neck or shoulders, then the movement might be smaller. You might be not bringing the hands all the way together or taking them very far back. You might just be playing in here, especially if you've got something going on in the shoulders or the neck or that upper back. Good, that's enough. Let's roll those shoulders up behind us and drop them down. Pull the shoulders down and away from the ears. Let the hands reach for the floor. Good. Palms turn up. On an inhale, you sweep them to the sky. Same thing here. If sweeping to the sky gets you this far and then you want to bring the hands down, go ahead. Just use your inhale to raise them as far as they feel comfortable, and then use your exhale to put palms together and bring your hands back down. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. You're finding your own range of motion here, gathering the breath on your inhale, pulling it into the body even as you exhale. Just feel yourself nourishing with these deep, big breaths. Now we change direction. So with hands at your heart, you simply press them together, open up. And as soon as those hands don't want to reach higher, you open them up and bring them out to the side. Breathing in, breathing out. This can feel like breaststroke. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice work. And breathing in and breathing out. Yeah, big shoulder work happening here. Good. And then let those hands come down. Perhaps you need the side of your chair here. I'm going to plant my right hand on the seat of the chair and then use my left hand to side bend. Come back down, plant the left hand, use my right hand to side bend, back and forth. Remember your modifications. Your fingers can be on shoulders. This is about you feeling the space between your armpit and your waist. The armpit, the side ribs, the waist all the way down to the hips. Breath's important here too. Inhale to center, exhale to side bend. Inhale to center, exhale to side bend. So we're moving the spine now. We've gone forward and back. We've rotated and twisted the spine, and now we're bending it right and left. We're finding all the different ranges of motion that this part of your body was built to have. Just because it was designed that way doesn't always mean that it's available. So do what is available. Use your breath to release tension and tightness. Breathe. You might even be exhaling out of your mouth if that feels good. If it feels good to just hear your breath sweep out of your nose, then you're letting that exhale sweep through your nose. Good. And then bring those hands down. If a shoulder roll feels good after that, then you can let yourself do that backwards shoulder roll again. I'd like you to just place palms up on the tops of your thighs. Take thumb and reach to pinky. And spread your hands wide again. Thumb reaches to ring finger and spreads wide. Middle spreads wide. Index spreads wide. Let yourself move back and forth between the fingers, taking deep breaths, slow exhales, and really spreading the hands out as far as they feel like they will spread in between each touch. Encouraging your breath and your circulation to come right to the ends of the fingertips. Yeah. As if every inhale could go right down to the fingernail beds. Good work. Now release that and let yourself do circles with your wrist. Whichever way you are circling right now, let yourself circle the other way. Even that feels good, doesn't it? Take the backs of your hands and press them together here. And then roll them up, pressing them together here. Roll them back down again. Good. Nice. Hands can drop down by your side. We're going to think about the pits of our elbows right now. Think about the pits of the elbows turning to face the floor and then rolling up. There's a trickle effect when we move one part of the body into the other corners. And you're just feeling how that elbow rotation affects the hands, the wrists, up into the shoulder sockets even. Feeling how the upper arm bone rolls in the shoulder socket. Feel if you can move that upper arm bone in the shoulder socket without anything else moving. So without the shoulder blades moving, without the ribs moving, without the spine moving. Can you just rotate those upper arm bones? Good. Now see if you can add shoulder blades. So as your arms roll backwards, pull the shoulder blades down and towards the spine. And as your arms roll forward, pull the shoulder blades away from the spine. So now, see if you can do that and keep your rib cage quiet. So your ribs aren't flaring forward. Your spine is not arching. It's just the rib the shoulder blades sliding on the back ribs. Yeah. Okay, now we'll add ribs. Every time you add ribs, you automatically add spine. So as arms go forward, arch your back, and as arms come back, lift and raise your chest. Throw those ribs forward and concave them back. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah, make this movement as big as it feels good to make it. Make it as small as you need to so that you're not adding any tension or creating pain in the body. Go with what feels right. And then release. You can feel that in the arms. There's some good juiciness building in there. Now when you get here, just start to do kind of seated hula hoop motion. Let your spine just go in nice big circles, even as your sit bones ground into the seat of the chair. And change directions. Yeah. Good work. Okay, before we stand, let's think about how we can start to get some movement happening in these legs. I'm going to stretch my feet straight out in front of me. Maybe I'll turn so you can see better. Put right heel over left shin and just begin to slide. I want you to imagine that the motor of this movement is right here in your upper thigh. So take your brain out of the heel and the foot and imagine that you're using these upper leg muscles to pull the heel up and to press it forward again. Good. Pull this heel up as high as it will go and then start to just open and close it. And if the heel passed the knee, you can bend that bottom leg. You don't have to though. So there's the movement that you're creating, or here's the movement you're creating. Both good. Yeah. See how high you can lift that knee up and then see how low that knee will drop down. Yeah, breathe. See if your spine can stay upright, the upper body can stay tall. The work is happening here in the leg. If you have to hang on, hang on. And then slide that foot down. Uncross. Let's go the other way. Left crosses over right. And find the slide. Remember that we're initiating this movement with these upper thigh muscles. You take your awareness out of the foot trying to haul itself up and pull itself down, and you feel like there's a lever pulling that foot. Yeah, we really activate those big muscles at the top of the leg. Yeah, you can feel that. Good work. So as the heel comes up, if it passes the knee, you can bend the bottom leg and go up and down here. If it doesn't pass the knee, then that up and down movement still happens. How high can the knee come to center? How far will it drop? I know there's a few hip replacements in this room today, so even assessing for yourself, is the hip that was the bad hip before that's now replaced feeling it better than the original hip? Sometimes that's almost a shock to us, which hip feels better, the good hip or the bad hip, and what the definition of that is. Yeah. Oh, good work. Slide that down. Sometimes you can even feel that in the outside of that hip. Bring your feet back to center. So I'm sliding my bum right to the edge of my chair now and opening my knees wide. Slide the fingers to the end. Actually, I might just take fingertips in towards the inseam and then be able to press the heel of the palm down. Roll your shoulders down your back and just feel how that motion makes the back be nice and straight. And then reach the shoulder forward and lift it back up again. Reach the shoulder forward and lift it back up again. So for those of you who want more, you could lean forward on the feet and lift your bum off the chair. So you're doing it freestanding. If you want to keep the bum on the chair for balance or support, then keep the bum on the chair. I'm gonna lift my bum just to stop my chair from squeaking. Yeah. Feel the diagonal twist across your spine. Be gentle here. Good. Sweet. Okay, so everyone land your bum if it isn't, and then bring the feet back to center. To stand up, you really want to think about not hauling your body up with your shoulders and your upper body strength. So toes go underneath knees, lean forward. Just get to the tipping point where the sit bones feel like they're going to fall off the edge of your chair. Keep leaning, keep feeling the work drop down into the soles of the feet, drop down into the legs. Press into the soles of the feet, let the bum start to rise. Perhaps this is your first pose. Knees still bend, hands on thighs, and then start to straighten your back. Yeah. From this straight back position, feel how the tailbone then goes to point down to the floor, and you can come up to standing. So good. From this standing position, have a chair close by so that you can use it for balance. I'm going to get us to take our feet, toes pointed out, a little bit hip width apart. Gentle bend into the knees, lift the heels. Come up onto your tippy toes, drop the heels. Bend knees, lift heels, tall tippy toes down. Okay, go slow, and I want you to breathe. Just notice if your inhales and exhales are supporting your movement right now. Nice, last one. Up, down, good. Okay, so then we go the other way. We're gonna come up onto tippy toes first, bend knees second, gently release heels to the floor, and then straighten legs. Tippy toes, bent knees, heels release, straighten legs. Tippy toes, knees, heels release, straighten legs. Yeah, just getting some juiciness down into those legs. Remember, you're ignoring me if your legs aren't cooperating with you today. Good, come out of that pose. Let toes point forward again. Okay, hips are hip width or maybe even a tiny bit further. I want you to sweep into one hip, sweep into the other hip. Just let yourself have a nice side bend. For those of you who want a little bit more here, you can take your hands up and then you can use your arms in this hip side bend. You can get torso in it as well. You can also stay right here. Yeah, so good. What if we did a standing hula hoop? Your hips go way out in front of you, over to one side, push them back behind you, roll them forward again. Whichever way your hula hoop is going, let it change directions. Hula the other way. Good. Good work. Nice. And then bring those feet back together. Fingertips to the back of your chair. Let's take a step back and let yourself do the spinal stretch. So your hands might need to be wider on your chair to help the shoulders drop more. The knees might need to bend to help you stretch your spine, but just go slow. Be gentle here. Do what you need to do to make this feel okay in your body. You're just feeling the tailbone stretch away from the crown of your head. Ideally, your head will be looking down between your elbows. Yeah. Take deep, long, slow breaths here too. And then walk back up to the back of your chair. Good. All right, taking a step with that right heel back behind you, and the left knee reaches forward. Just press there. Back heel pushes into the floor, left knee reaches forward. Start to notice your balance. If it's possible, these front fingers can lift off the chair. If you need any extra balance, one finger can stay connected. Good. Good. Let's drop fingers down to the chair and then let the whole body lean forward, keeping that back heel pressing. Big stretch there. In this one, if you like, hands can leave the chair. They can too stretch back towards that back heel, or one hand at a time. Good. Let yourself press all the way up and straighten your front leg. And then you imagine that the hip crease at the top of the legs is where you're going to hinge, that the tailbone is being pulled back behind you. So that you feel the pelvis fold over, big stretch in the front leg. Breathe. Stretch through the crown of your head, push through the sit bones, feel that stretch in your legs. Good. Inhale and come all the way back up again. Now feel like you bend your back knee. I'm going to keep my hands on the chair. As I bend my back knee, lift the front toes. Take some breaths. Nice. Seal the toes down. Lift up. Good. And just feel yourself tick-tock. So imagine the tailbone points to the floor, and then the tailbone lifts up. Tailbone points to the floor. Tailbone lifts up. Your spine is just moving because your tailbone is changing directions. Yeah. Good. Okay, now we're going to come up, buoyant knees, back foot steps forward. Step back with the left leg. Bend into the front knee. Soften your shoulders, let the back heel press into the ground. Choose if these hands leave the chair. Breathe. Stretch through the fingertips, reach through the crown of the head. Good work. Good work. Fingers drop back down, and then we let the whole spine reach. It's as if the crown of your head is being pulled in the exact opposite direction as your back heel. Just feel your crown stretch up and away, your back heel down and back. Nice. Inhale and come all the way up. This time we straighten the front leg and you feel like the pelvis tilts. You feel like the tailbone rises towards the sky as you come forward over that front leg. Parsvatanasana, this is called. They call it pyramid pose. Yeah. Breathe and just feel the stretch sensation that you have happening in your leg. Good. Press into the soles of the feet, come all the way up. Let's gently bend our back knee. And as we do, pull the front toes up off the floor. Still probably hanging onto the chair. Foot comes down again. Nice work. So here, just tick-tock again. We have a tendency to just move the belly here. And I want the challenge to be that you can feel the pelvis moving. We really want to rock the pelvis on the top of the leg bones, feeling like we're putting some WD-40 into those ball and socket joints. So feel the tailbone lift. That's how you can tell that your pelvis is moving. Or your fingers on the pelvic bones here. Feel the pelvic bones go towards the floor and then feel them rise back up again. So you know you're not just bending the vertebrae, the spine. Yeah. So good. Now we're gonna buoyant knees, find your chair, back foot steps forward. Sweet work. Okay, I'm gonna stand sideways so my right hand can hang on to the chair. My right foot can point to the chair and my left foot steps back. Now my hips kick sideways. Like I'm gonna spill out over that front leg and open up that back area. Good. Then line your spine up, tailbone to crown of the head, long straight line. Feel like the torso and chest take this really gentle twist upward to face forward, lifting it away from the floor. Choose your top hand on your hip or maybe out to the sky. Bottom arm on chair, seat of chair, or even not touching, you choose. Take some deep breaths here in triangle. There's a lot of work happening in your body. And then press into the feet. Go to this back hip and push from the back hip to bring everything back to center. Good. Gentle bend in the knees. And then step towards your chair again. This time you're going to step back with your left foot or your right foot. My left hand and left toes point to the chair. Right foot steps back. Hips kick the other way. So they slide. Still, we're still putting WD-40 into the connection, ball and socket joint of thigh bone into hip socket. Bring your awareness to the front side of your body. Notice if it feels like it's facing the floor, and take that gentle twist, taking the torso to face forward. Choose top arm to the sky or to hip, bottom hand resting on chair, chair seat, or floor. Yeah, this one's called Trikonasana. It's just a whole bunch of different triangles in your body. Take some deep breaths. Choose what's right for you. Feel the stretch. Firm press into the soles of your feet, and we work the hips back to center. Good. Buoyant knees, and we step the feet back. So good. Okay. So hands can hang on to the chair now. Soles of the feet ground. Take one heel back behind you. And now just imagine that from the heel to the back of your head is a long board. And you're going to tick-tock forward and back. Your standing leg is doing all the work here. So you might need like a little micro bend in that standing knee, especially if it's locking. Do not let it lock. But feel the hard work of asking that leg to hold your whole body weight. Yeah, that's enough. And leg comes down. You can even feel as you put the right leg down again, how the weight evens out in the body. Okay, so this time we take the opposite heel. For me, it's my left one behind me. Feel like you're straight board from the heel to the back of your head, and you're pivoting on the top of your right leg, like there's a fulcrum there. Yeah. Standing leg starting to be a bit like jello. It's holding your whole body weight, especially if your hands are quite light on the chair, and then come down. So good. All right, harder standing pose. So ignore me and take a breath if you need to. If not, if you have blocks, I'll show you what the block version is. And if you don't have blocks, you're going to imagine. So the block comes right between your legs as if you are a Pez dispenser. And then you do like this little internal rotation as if in the Pez world, you could spit the block out that way, possibly. So you're just feeling like a rotation of the thighs and how the thighs squeeze in on that block. If you don't have a block, you're doing the same thing. You're feeling the thighs squeeze together and roll inward. And now let's just bend the knees a little bit. Breathe. Feel in this pose like the tailbone drops to the floor. Feel how you can let the low back relax and all the work goes to the quads. The fronts of these legs will start to burn. We're waking up some muscles in the body that we need to recruit to support our low back. Yeah, so you want the work and effort to feel like it's in your legs and not back here. Good. Straighten the legs. Nice work. So that might just need to feel like it pats out a little bit. Wiggle your hips. Maybe there's some hula hoops in there. Just whatever you need. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do our balance pose today. So find your chair. My left hand will find the chair. My right arm and my right foot are gonna do this work. So I imagine this like a robot. I wanna lift my right knee out in front of me and take my right hand forward. Maybe I'll do it so that you guys can see. Good. And then I want my knee and my hand to point to the floor. And then I'm going to tip backwards and down and up and down and back. Okay. My guess is that most of us are going to feel really good with the chair. And if some of you are feeling like you don't need the chair, then that arm goes opposite to your moving right side. Okay, that's it. Whew. Bring yourself down. We'll do that same one on the other side, and then wrap up our standing. I'm going to keep a hand on the chair. Left hand, left knee lift in front of me. I take hand and knee to point to the floor, and I reach them back. And I lean forward when I reach back. They come down, they lift up. So we're really working that ball and socket joint today. Really putting some good WD-40 in there. Make sure you're breathing. You guys, you know when you watch Dancing with the Stars or you watch figure skating and you see those figure skaters like reach up and grab their skate over their head? So that's where we're going here. Like eventually we're all going to be in that sort of figure skating pose with both our hands reaching over our head. Just so you know, we never get there in this class. So we don't have to worry about it. But it can give us some appreciation when we're watching them on TV. All right, let that end. Again, you might need to just wiggle that out. Do whatever stretch. So if you're doing hula hoops and it feels good, fine. And if this countertop, back of the chair stretch feels like it would be nice for the low back, go ahead and go there. So you're just noticing all that work we've done in the legs and the hips. Sweet. Let's come back and find the pose called Tadasana. It just means mountain pose. And it is the so fun to do right now in the middle of class. Feet underneath hips, lift your toes and wiggle them. Feel like you spread them really wide apart and then set them on the floor. Maybe you're going to rock forward and back on the soles of your feet. Notice the legs. If the knees feel locked, put a little micro bend in them. Feel the strength and juiciness that you've built in your legs today. Bring your awareness to your pelvis. Just feel the pelvis tilt and tuck. Feel it hitch up to the right and hitch up to the left, and bring it to the place where it feels neutral. Spend some time releasing the low back, relaxing the effort from the low back. Feel how the bowl of the pelvis in its neutral position allows the spine to grow as tall as it can. Nice straight line up the body. Roll the shoulders down your back again. Feel the broadening of your collarbones across your chest. Let the hands drop beside you, maybe one hand still on a chair. Breathe. The skull, the head just floats to the top of that sequence of that body, balancing on the top of your spine. Drop your eyes to the floor or even close them. And feel your breath. Notice your circulation reaching to the ends of your fingers and the ends of your toes. Feel the current of energy, perhaps. The pulse of your heart. the expansion and release of your inhale and exhale. Just tune into your aliveness, to the vitality that sits here. Feel your strength. They call that prana, vital life force. It is not just breath, but it is how the breath makes you be alive. So good. So good. All right, gently as you let yourself release from that pose, we're going to start to move down to the floor where you find your pillow and your blanket, whatever you know you need. And I take my chair over to a spot that I can access it at the end of class. So I usually set the chair up kind of at the end of my mat where my feet will be when I lie down. And you get yourself your blankets. I don't use a mat just because I find when I film, you guys can't see me and the mat very well apart from each other, whereas you can see me and the floor really well. So we're coming down onto our bums and then we're gonna lie down. You get to choose if you come with us or if you wanna just sit in your chair and do as much as you can with your arms and your legs from that position. What the floor does is it fully supports our back body, so it's easy for us to isolate a few different muscles. As you settle in, find a spot, find a pillow so that your chin and forehead are equal distance. The chin or the forehead aren't poking closer to the sky. Use the second blanket to assess your low back. Some people find that they need to just roll something gently in the arch of the back. Some people find they need to gently support the tailbone, just lifting it a little, and that is the work. So you find what works best for you. Knees bent, feet on the floor, shoulders relaxed. Good. Let's come to right shoulder. Lift it to the ceiling. Feel like hydraulics, drop it back to neutral. Reach it to the floor and feel like hydraulics, lift it back to neutral. Do that a couple times. You don't have to be pointing to it. You can just be feeling it. Lift, push down. Every return to neutral is done smoothly with control, and then release that right shoulder. Do the same with the left. Left shoulder reaches to sky, drops down, presses to floor. Every time that shoulder returns to neutral, you feel the controlled smoothness of the movement. As we go to the left side, you can feel the difference. Good. Nice. So now put your right fingers on your right shoulder and your left fingers on your left hip bone. I want you to feel like they reach across from each other and stretch towards each other, the whole front side of your body, like pulling a string towards the middle, and then pull away, like each corner, left hip, right shoulder are playing tug of war with each other. And then draw them towards each other. Drop to neutral, pull away from each other. Drop to neutral, reach across, drop to neutral, stretch away, and then relax. Change how your hands are positioned so that right hand touches left hip bone, left hand touches top shoulder, and pull them towards each other. Drop them to neutral. Pull the hip and the shoulder away from each other. drop to neutral. Find your inhale and exhale. There's a big stretch, release to neutral, big stretch. One of them will be a contraction of the front side of the body, and one of them is a contraction of the back side of the body. Yeah. Good. Bring that to normal and release. Good. Take the hands all the way up to the sky. I'm just going to let my palms face each other, fingers to the ear, and then lift shoulder blades off the floor and set them back down on the floor. Try not to do this with your chest muscles. Try to imagine that the shoulder blades pull themselves off the floor and then they release themselves to the floor. Feel the smoothness of that motion. It's a different cue than like pull your arms to the sky, because I want the back body muscles to be working rather than just using your arms to kind of pull out of the shoulder sockets. The arms stay settled and connected in those shoulder sockets, even as you lift and lower the shoulder blades. Yeah. See how complicated my cues are? You guys have to like really pay attention to see what's going on here. Relax that. Let's bring your right knee into your chest, and your fingers can drape the knee or the back of the thigh. Pump the knee to the chest and release. Pump the knee into the chest and release. Just be gentle with yourself here. Figure out which way is the inhale, which way is the exhale naturally in your body. And then put that right foot down on the floor. Bring the left knee into your chest. Do the same thing here. You're just going to pump that knee gently and carefully, noticing if one side's different than the other. This side's a bit more tender for me. So good. Okay, so then that knee drops back down to the floor. Bring your fingertips right to that muscle that you feel in the hip flexor, right where the leg bone meets the torso. And as you let your knees butterfly open and closed, try and go small enough that you don't trigger that muscle underneath your fingertips. See if that muscle can stay quiet. When we do this, we're asking the body to find help from other sources, hopefully the inner and outer thighs. Good. Okay. So bring that to center. You can let both knees fall to the right, and maybe you just need to be kind of gentle there, and you're just going to let them fall halfway. If you feel like a bigger twist would serve you, then drop your right knee, lift your left knee up, and the right hand kind of guides that knee over. So this supine twist is a bit bigger. And if you've got stuff happening in SI and low back, you might choose to ignore me and just stay with a really, really gentle knees fall right. Left shoulder in both poses drops to the floor. stays connected. Just let yourself find a spot where your body feels relaxed. And breathe into it, letting your breath melt away any additional resistance that can be melted. And then bring those knees back up to center really carefully. Choose how you might go to the left side, and it might be that one side feels okay and one side doesn't. So start with just letting the knees fall left, right arm opens. Perhaps you're going to stay right there, it feels good enough. And if you are looking for more, then the left leg straightens. Right knee crosses the body, the hips pull up and away from the relaxed right shoulder. And then release everything back to center. Good. We'll just loosen up the upper body with some twists as well. So take the hands to the ceiling and then drop your palms around the opposite elbow. You kind of created a box in front of your chest with your arms. Elbows go right, knees go left. Inhale back to center. Elbows go left, knees go right. Inhale back to center. So twist your body, letting your knees and elbows release with control, opposite to each other. Use a big breath to bring everything back to center. And a nice exhale to sink you into the twist. Good work. Bring knees and elbows back to center and drop the hands. Here's where you get to choose your final rest pose. So if you're comfortable on the floor, you can stay here. Perhaps the knees fall together just to give them a little bit of extra support, and your feet go a bit wider like you're making a tent. This is where the chair can be fun. You can let the calves reach up and rest on the seat of that chair. I know that there's one of you in the group in particular that you like your legs to be really straight. So if you have a piece of furniture around you that allows that to happen, you can, instead of resting calves, you could rest heels on a piece of furniture as well. So when we're here, if this feels good for your body, it's really good to let the blood flow down out of your legs, almost bathing the torso with fresh oxygenated blood. Finding the pose that works best for you. Making yourself comfortable. Once your body feels like it's comfortable, move your awareness back to your inhale and exhale. Notice all the ways that you can perceive your aliveness. Maybe it is a flickering of your eyelids. It's what you can still hear. Feeling yourself swallow. Notice your belly rise and fall, your chest expand and release. The sensation of coolness or of warmth on your skin. Maybe you've got the sun touching you. Maybe you're in a room that feels cooler. Just notice. Go inward and notice the pulsation, current of energy in your body. The flow of breath is the magnificent machine of your body, just pumps and releases. You're that life force, distributing it to all corners of the body. And let a smile come onto your face as you feel and appreciate that life force within you. Take a deep breath in through that grin. And as you exhale, maybe you need a couple exhales out through your mouth. So, starting to move however it feels natural. Maybe it's fingers and toes first, wrists and ankles, big stretches. It feels good often to just roll on the low back. And then let yourself roll over to one side. You can take your time bringing yourself up to seated. You can move to seated on the floor or directly into a chair. Thank you, Tuesday yogis. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to spring. Namaste, everyone.